Super Mega Podcast!
Alright, so I'm joined by Rob from Playniac Games. First of all, I want to talk very quickly about why you're here, obviously. It's so super secret that it isn't finished yet, you're just testing out some gameplay. So it's not finished, there's no artwork, we can't show it, but we want to talk about it, obviously. We've had a quick go. I loved it, I thought it was brilliant. So, first of all, it's called Great Leader. Tell us a bit about it.
So yes, we're down here showing a very early prototype of Great Leader, which is a new game we're making for various platforms. It's a game about persuasion and propaganda. You are a rebel faction leader, and you have to start off by taking over your hometown, and then you take over larger and larger towns as you take over the whole country as the Great Leader.
So it's, I'm a huge fan of strategy games. When I was younger, there was a point in my life where I literally, if it wasn't a strategy game, I wouldn't play it at all. But I know that one of the first things he told us about this strategy game was, most strategy games, you kill, you get killed. In Great Leader, it's always in flux. Like you said, it's about propaganda, it's about changing people's minds. It's not about killing or anything like that. So tell us a bit more about that, because that was a mechanic that I felt really worked and really set it apart from something else. Because obviously, like you said, the art's not finished yet. All we're looking at is the gameplay, and that was something that really made it stand out for me. So tell us a little bit about that.
So as a studio, we start with the game design, and we start with prototyping games and trying to get something unique and something different to happen within the world of the game. For this game, what suited the system of the game is that, as you mentioned, rather than being dead or alive, rather than being human or zombie, in this game you're affiliated, you're a follower of a party, but actually that can change at any time. So as your enemies influence people, they might drift away from following your group. As you influence them back, they might come back. And so the maps of the game, which are generative actually, are always in flux, and there's this kind of massive dynamism in the way it's played, and there are tussles that go on from the first second of a level right through to the very end until you find out whether you won or lost.
That's it. People are certainly fickle. I guess it does play into that, definitely. I know, like you said, you're testing out mechanics today. How far in development are you for Great Leader so far?
So we're about 3 months into software development. We've got about 8 working levels, and 2 of the main mechanics of the game are there. And we've already been seeing lots of really fantastic feedback here at GEEK 2014, and also last week we showed it at Indicate East in New York. So we've really had a chance to get 2 audiences to come and play the game, and we're getting a really good sense of the enthusiasm they have for the game, actually.
2 very different audiences as well, New York and sunny Margate. We're sitting right next to the sea in sunny Kent. You said that obviously you're based in Angel, so this must be a bit different from the hustle and bustle of the Northern Line.
It's really lovely, actually. I mean, it's really nice to get down here. I think GEEK is a really fantastic festival. We heard about it last year and wanted to get involved. So we were kindly invited to be part of the Indie Zone here, where we're showing Great Leader, and we're also running. So we have another game called Insane Robot Battle that we're running as a card game with a championship and prizes in the other room shortly as well. And that's also an early prototype of a digital game that we're putting out on tablets and mobiles in the near future. It's been really nice to get involved with GEEK and to come down here, and it's a really fantastic festival, a really good atmosphere, a lot of people here, a lot of people playing games, a lot of enthusiasm for games here, so it's really good to see that.
Talking about Insane Robot Battle, I know that is a physical card game, and it's also a digital card game, isn't it? So that's 2 things that I suppose GEEK's a very varied festival. We've got cosplay, we've got card games, we've got graphic novels, as well as a vast selection of retro games. So talking about Insane Robot Battle, how did you come up with that? Where did you start, I suppose?
So we started building that as a card game, and we've been playing that with game designers and game developers actually around the world for a number of months. It's been played currently in, let me see if I can get this right, it's been played in Brighton, London, Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York, amongst other locations, and and at Game City. Where else has it been? It's been to at Game City. We ran it in Game City for 3 days as well. So we've played it in all different places, and so that's also been a prototype process But the digital version of that is going to be quite different. So we're just starting on the digital build of that, and that's also going pretty well.
What led you to, I suppose, you said that you started out making it as a card game. What led you to think, actually, we could make this as a digital version as well, like, that could tie in, you know? What led to that decision? Like?
Actually, it's funny you asked that. So I was actually pretty adamant that we weren't going to make a computer game. So we make games in lots of different formats. So as a studio, we were IndieCade finalists in 2012 with our race management sim, International Racing Squirrels, and we were finalists, official selections in IndieCade 2013 with Cat on Your Head, which is a physical game with no computers or even parts in it. It's just a game that you play with crowds of people, and that's been played up to 1,000 people. So we don't mind what format we make games in. It's all about the game design for us. So with Insane Robot Battle, we started making it as a card game. I was pretty adamant that it was only ever going to be a card game, and then when we showed it at Game City, several indie game designers who were quite into the game kind of insisted that we did make it as a card game, and some of them have made a lot of very amazing digital games that are card game-like. And so that was really inspiring for us to think, well, maybe we should listen to these people. They're kind of really amazing developers themselves. And so we started to prototype the digital version, and actually it works very well as a digital game. And we now have a digital prototype of that game with AI opponents and that kind of thing. And we're now working with artists to kind of bring that to life.
Well, thank God that you did change your mind, to be honest, about that. I know you said you put up a pretty stern wall about this is a card game, it's not going to be a game, but you know, you've rattled off some projects there. I know we were talking earlier and you said how busy you are at the minute prototyping, you know. Does it ever stop?
Not really, no. I mean, I think when you're making indie games, you're thinking about them a lot, you're focused on them a lot, so there's always kind of new places to be showing them and people to be talking to about them, so as well as actually building stuff. So yeah, things are pretty busy. And actually also coming up quite soon, we've just been greenlit with International Racing Squirrels, which is already out on iPad, to put that out on Steam, and we actually have a Mac and PC version of that with a load of new racetracks and a load of new features, and that's going to be coming out on Steam as a Mac and PC release pretty soon.
Nice little deluxe edition then, I suppose.
The deluxe edition for Steam, yeah. So like there's a load of new stuff that we've put in there, new play modes, new racetracks, and some really nice tweaks to that game actually that just kind of up the game a little bit for when we bring it to those new platforms.
Well, it all sounds very interesting. Great Leader is a project that I'm definitely going to be following very, very closely. I know that obviously, like you said, you're very busy at the minute working on some projects. But we'll definitely stay in touch. We'll keep up to date with everything that's going on at Playniac. There's certainly no shortage of ideas there, let me say. But thank you very much for speaking to me.
Thank you very much. Great to talk to you. Yeah, if you want to find out more, you can follow us on Twitter. It's at Playniac, Playniac. We're also facebook.com/Playniac. And so, yeah, follow there, and that's where we post news about all the stuff that we're up to.
Rob, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Good to meet you.